The following episode of the Maui Chamber of Commerce's Business Matters was originally broadcast on December 17th, 2024.
It's time now for Business Matters, brought to you by the Maui Chamber of Commerce. And now, here's your host, the president of the Maui Chamber of Commerce, Pam Toonpop. Good morning, Pam. How's the weather today, Pam?
Hey, good morning, Gary. Well, it's bright up here. A little chilly, but not too bad. How about you in Wailuku?
Yeah, it was a little chilly this morning. Kind of nice and clear, and I love it.
I know. It's a beautiful day. It looks like it's shaping up to be just gorgeous again. We're off to a wonderful holiday season, which I'm just loving to have the cold weather back. And last week was brutal with the winds, but they've died down this week, so it's fabulous.
So, did you have any good news? Any good news on the doggy front?
No, thank you for asking. Our dog, our precious baby, it's my daughter's daughter. It's my daughter's dog, Ziggy, has been missing, and he's a male dog, neutered. He's a poodle mix, but with short hair, kind of townish color, floppy ears, a finger tail. He's got a short tail that wags like a finger, very skittish. So at this point, it's now, I think we're on day 9, and we're desperately seeking his return. And we're hopeful somebody's actually had him and comforted him during the winds and rains and maybe just hasn't gotten around to calling the shelter. But we're asking the whole community to look, and also he is shy, so he hides. So he could be under your house, in your shed. We're asking everybody in the Pukalani area to please look for him. Please look around your yard and under your house for us. Any sightings, you can call us and Alicia at 808-281-3622. We are desperate to find him, and it's been a long time, and we're very worried about him. So we greatly appreciate everybody's help, and thank you, Gary, for that. I know you've been helping to get the word out, and a lot of people know and are out looking. The community's been tremendously supportive, but we also need more help, desperately need more help to find him. So we appreciate all that you and Kauai have been doing, Gary, and hopefully with more people listening in and looking out for him, he'll be found soon. We're very hopeful. So today, though, thank you for all listening on my quick commercial on our puppy and our baby. But today we're going to have a fast-paced and fun morning. We're going to speak with Aya Ganz. So she is a small business owner of Maui Bone Broth, and she's been on before, and she's an amazing entrepreneur, and we're going to talk a little bit about that. We're also going to speak with another amazing entrepreneur, Noah Foti of Rowdy Outdoors, and learn a little bit about what he's doing and also how he's helping to protect and preserve Panaola culture. And Michael Shiffler, a nonprofit organization called Red Lightning, who's doing amazing things. But first, let me tell you about Aya Ganz. She is a dedicated leader, visionary, entrepreneur, and passionate advocate for sustainable agriculture and equitable access to nutritious food within the Maui community. Renowned for her commitment to holistic living, Aya has been instrumental in guiding families towards healthier lifestyles since 2022. She is a certified yoga instructor, health and wellness facilitator, and community connector, and has fostered a culture of well-being and mindfulness. In early 2023, Aya founded the Maui Bone Broth Company, a venture that exemplifies her belief in the healing power of food. Her journey in food and medicine movement began as a contributing writer and food editor for the Maui scene at the Maui News, where she has been articulating the narratives of community members and exploring the intersections of dining, agriculture, and organic food trends since 2019. Since the official launch of Maui Bone Broth, Aya has achieved remarkable success, driving significant growth in sales, marketing, and public education around dietary practices, cleansing, and cellular rejuvenation. What began as a humble initiative in her kitchen has now expanded to serve families across all the Hawaiian Islands, reinforcing her commitment to nourishing the community and promoting sustainable food practices. Through her work, Aya continues to inspire and empower individuals to embrace a holistic approach to health and wellness. Good morning, Aya, and welcome to the show.
Oh, good morning. It's such an honor to be here. Thank you for having me.
Oh, you're very welcome. Thank you so much. Well, tell us a little bit. You've been doing writing on all of this. So what was the motivation behind the Maui Bone Broth Company specifically? And how does it represent what you do?
Well, Maui Bone Broth started, and I've been telling this story quite a bit lately. I learned how to hunt axis deer a number of years ago.
Yeah.
And that experience was so life-changing. I grew up in a city. I grew up, purchasing all my food and being, as we say, sort of disconnected from, what it takes to actually put food on your table yourself. And I call that my rewilding experience because, it got me in touch with what it really means to be a hunter, be a gatherer. We live in such a remote place in Hawaii. And during the pandemic, as a single mom on the island, I think it lit a fire inside of me. I said, what's going to happen if I can't get nutritious food for my daughter? What's going to happen? I think a lot of us planted gardens at that time. A lot of us started thinking about food and potential scarcity in different ways. And it really pushed me to learn something that, many generations ago was very common. And in just a few short generations is not. And as a city kid, I just got a whim that it was something I needed to learn, and it has really shifted the course of my life, and I'm so grateful. I met the two gentlemen on the Nextdoor app, which is a community sort of way to get in touch with people who live nearby you, and they were offering to give away deer meat. They were up on the ag land in Kula, helping to keep the populations of the axis deer down, and I said, I'm not as interested in the meat as I am in coming out with you and learning your process. And they said, well, come on, girl, we'll show you how. Come out in the middle of the night and we're gonna teach you. And my life has never been the same. So it's I'm so grateful. They are two incredible men in the community, Uncle Buzz, and who's a superintendent down in the Kihei schools. And my life took a turn, and definitely for the better during those months.
What a phenomenal story. I absolutely love it, and I love the inspiration, and you're right. Over time, we've lost how to do those things. And, there's a great hunting group in Maui, but a lot of us stopped planting gardens. Victory gardens used to be a big thing, and everybody used to plant gardens in their home. And I'm glad we're seeing a resurgence of that. So
me too.
This is a great adventure. So what has been the most rewarding aspect for you to do this work in Maui since you started?
Well, when I started writing for the Maui scene, and that was a very wonderful almost fluke that happened in my life. I knew a writer who had written for the Maui News for many, many years. And Carla Tracy was about to step down as food editor, and she was going over to the Honolulu Advertiser. And that sort of, doorway for me, with very little experience, I'd like to add, I basically faked it till I made it. I had friends help me with editing my pieces, and essentially I got to spend the entire year before COVID listening to people talk about their passions with food, and it was just so inspiring. I had grown up caring and loving nutrition and food and well-being through food. But what began to evolve was realizing I was in a community of overachievers, whether it be restaurateurs or farmers, but people who really, really cared. And I knew, I didn't know quite at that time, but I knew that I wanted to do something with food. And I think that the hunting then sort of put it into place as to what could be that offering. It was a very step-by-step thing. I mean, I didn't start out saying, hey, I'm going to start a bone broth company. That was really not my origin. I think it's just I fell into something, and truly I saw a hole in the community where this wasn't being made. And it is not only a beautiful, nutritious food, but it's really a medicine. And I want to see the people of my community in their best health. And so this was a way that I could see me having an impact in that way.
Well, I mean, it is a phenomenal impact, and we've had the chance, because you've been involved in the Main County Festival, to try it. It's a phenomenal product. And you mentioned it's also a medicine. And I know you're big on education. So can you tell us about the role that education plays in your mission, and how you approach educating the community about bone broth, its medicinal properties and nutritional properties?
Yes. Well, a lot of it is an educational curve. I think, specifically during the 1950s, we really started seeing the bouillon movement. There was powders, and, even my mother, bless her soul, she, taught me to cook that way. She said, you open up one of these little packets and you put this in, and that's your base. And so in a few short generations, we got out of the practice of cooking bone broth in our homes, which is a time-consuming thing, and it is an ingredient thing. And we sort of, in a few generations, lost the connection to this very precious thing. Humans have been creating broths for tens of thousands of years. I think the first clay pot was discovered in China 20,000 years ago. So as long as humans have been hunting, we have been utilizing the whole animal. And the education piece is just allowing people to realize that it's our birthright to be happy and healthy. We sometimes, as fast-paced, modern families, we cut the corners of wanting to do things quickly, and that's partially the driving the emphasis of creating Maui bone broth is to take the time out of that for families. But the connection to our food, we don't necessarily have to give up nutrition for ease and for speed. So the educational piece is that the reason why people in Asia outlive the people in America, in large cities like in Hong Kong and New York and places like this, is because bone broth is a part of their diet every day. In Hong Kong, a normal family meal would include bone broth, either for lunch or for dinner. And those, the access to people's diet being of high collagen, being of these nutrient-dense, high in minerals, high in protein, allows the body to sustain itself in really powerful ways. Your body is made of collagen. And as we age, we don't produce that collagen in the same way. It's part of allowing the body to rejuvenate itself. The biggest organ other than your skin is pretty much your stomach. So what we're putting into our bodies every day really matters. And giving our body something as nutritious as bone broth, I think that's my biggest dream with this business, is to connect families to that, to teach families about that. And a lot of the ways I do that, I mean, lately I have been on television a couple of times. I'm so delighted to be invited to speak here today. It's at the farmers market every week. This is what I'm telling families. This is what I'm trying to educate schools about. I've been trying to hammer at working with Holly Makua, which owns several nursing homes on the island, because I'd like to see this be a part of the fabric of our community. It's a really simple thing that can really change people's well-being and health. It starts in our kitchens. And at Maui Bone Broth, we would love to support families in better meals, where we're not sacrificing our health with, commercially bought products that have fillers and salts that have, MSG and things that over time really don't make people healthy.
That's so true. And so many people are taking collagen supplements, and this is a great natural way to do that and to get that.
That's right. And I'd like to say something about collagen supplements for just a moment. When we take a lot of vitamins, and I'm definitely a proponent of taking vitamins. I take a lot of different herbs and things on the daily. But what bone broth is bioavailable collagen. And what that means is it's something that your body can actually absorb. A lot of the supplements and nutrients that we take in pill form and in powder form are actually not absorbable once it goes through your stomach and the acids in your stomach and then processes through the liver and the kidney. You're really not getting a lot of those micronutrients. But with bone broth, because it's bioavailable, you're actually able to absorb it. And so for people who are healing from, say, an injury or a cold or just feeling, just not depleted, bone broth really helps the body to repair itself quicker. It's so important for the diet of our children, and it's extremely important for the infirm and elderly.
Oh, thank you for that. That's really important to know, and I didn't realize that. So that's awesome. If someone is interested in getting involved with your initiatives and finding your products, how can they do that?
Well, I'd love for people to check out our website. We're also on Instagram, so we're the Maui Bone Broth Company, and we just started selling online, which is a really exciting chapter for us. I really believe in the power of the Hawaiian food movement, tying up our islands to cohesively work together for a brighter future, for the true fragility of our food system in Hawaii. And so we're a startup. We are looking for support both on a community level, a retail level, and also a state level. I really believe that this year will be the year that we start to connect with grants and different ways that my dream is that we are producing for the troops, for the schools, for the infirmed. This is beyond a monetary pursuit for my family and I. And so if you want to be involved, please reach out on our website or on Instagram, MauiBoneBroth.com or Maui Bone Broth on Instagram. We are only as good as the strength of our community. So we are open to receive anybody who wants to be a part of it. Come right on in. We're ready to work together. This is about community. So, yeah.
Very well said. Aya, thank you so much for joining us this morning. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you. It's been so much fun.
Blessings to you, and I hope you have a wonderful
You too. Happy holidays.
Yes, happy holidays. Thank you. Aloha.
Okay, talk soon. Okay.
Talk soon. Take care. All right. We are going to, Noah is trying to call in as well, and Gary, if you'll give Noah a quick call. Noah, while Gary's doing that, I'm going to introduce Noah Foti to you. He was born and raised on Maui. He is an accomplished waterman, outdoorsman, and professional rodeo athlete. Noah is also the founder and CEO of Rowdy Outdoors, a specialized outdoor gear company based in Hawaii, and is the founder and president of Rowdy Rodeo, a 501c3 nonprofit dedicated to perpetuating the Paniolo culture, which we are very familiar with upcountry and absolutely love. And something, again, going back to history, one of those things we want to continue to perpetuate. Gary, have you been able to connect with Noah?
Yes, I have him.
Oh, awesome. Good morning, Noah. How are you?
Good morning. Good. How about yourself?
Oh, wonderful. Thank you. I'm so glad to connect with you this morning. Please tell us a little bit about Rowdy Outdoors and how you started this company.
Well, thanks for having us on the show.
You're welcome.
Rowdy Outdoors, we specialize in making innovative outdoor gear, and we put a lot of thought into all the material and design of our products. All of us. I started it myself a few years ago. I kind of had the idea back in 2020, and slowly started, designing and figuring out how we wanted to go about it. I'm a long time outdoorsman and cowboy, and and I also am an artist, so I and it was been a kind of natural businessman, and I always thought I had, I could maybe come out with a outdoor company. So now here we are, and it's slowly growing, and we have an amazing a lot of support from the community, and everything's really rolling along. We also have a whole handcrafted section where we do custom leather work, and we make we make stuff to hunt, and we make stuff out of the stuff that we hunt. So we make all all of our textile hunting gear, and then we use the access deer hides that we hunt ourselves, and local taxidermists does the tanning. We have both DG Taxidermy and Maui Taxidermy do our tanning, and then we have William Dumlau. He's from Maukata Makai Leatherworks is his brand, and we have an amazing team of leather workers that we all work together to make beautiful stuff. So yeah.
Oh, I love it. And our whole point with, as we call the excess deer population, is using everything we can. We just had Maui bone broth on earlier, so also using the deer bones for the broth.
So we really utilize everything. So we hunt for food. We make stuff out of the hides. The carcass is then picked up for the most part by local farmers, and they use that for compost in their farm. And then after we process the meat, there's always leftover scraps that are still good, so that ends up becoming dog food. So it's really full circle, and we're really trying to promote sustainability, but even more so prosperity, right? We want to create something that's going to continue to become better throughout the years.
Yeah, that's phenomenal. I absolutely love all the work that you're doing. And also, I love that you're helping to preserve our Paniolo culture. Tell us a little bit about that, and how are we doing? Do we have a growing group of Paniolos?
Again, with with that sustainable and prosperous future is the best way we've found to affect the future is to hit the nail on the head and directly work with the keiki. So we started a 501c3 nonprofit. We have an Olympic-sized rodeo arena in Haiku, and we've been building that out for over a year now, or rebuilding it and putting all new bucking chutes so we can buck rough stock bulls and bucking horses, and put new roping chutes and getting roping dummies, and we have an amazing board of directors that really that's what makes it so special, is we have so many good people that are surrounded by it. That's our goal, is just to kind of give these, by being a part of this program, it really gives people the opportunity to be surrounded by a community that's dedicated to helping each other. And with that, there is so much opportunity, from agriculture to education, by competing in rodeo, our high school national rodeo sanctioned events, kids can qualify for full ride scholarships to rodeo colleges across the mainland, and
Wow.
more than that, there's also our goal is, as somebody who's grown up here and in the livestock industry, is we want to see more kids raise animals, and that all goes towards the same goal of proper land management, and that goes with invasive species, properly fire mitigation, right? Properly maintained land.
It's a lot, but you're bringing it back to a very holistic system, and that's really tremendous, and a lot of work. I can only imagine how much work it is to do all of this. But I love that you're supporting this effort, and I just remember years ago 4-H was such a huge thing. We really need to get the kids involved in these kinds of activities, and it works so much towards our sustainable Maui.
Absolutely, yes, absolutely. We will definitely have plans for 4-H, and as our cow-calf operations grow, we're kind of trying to find lease land to acreage to start growing our cow-calf operation, and maybe give kids the opportunity to be able to have their own show animals and put on some of those 4-H events. So that, definitely lots of ideas and plans. We're just kind of hacking away at it, but really the community has just been so supportive. So it's really fun to see where it's what it's blossoming into.
It's really amazing. Well, tell us where people can find your products this holiday season.
So the best place is to, you can always find us online at rowdyoutdoors.com. That's ROWDY outdoors.com. And you can also find us on social media. It's Rowdy Outdoors _. And if you want to look up our nonprofit on our social media page, Instagram, it's Rowdy, ROWDY _arena. And we're also, our products can also be found in stores. We are located at the Foam Company in Kaahumanu Mall, Hawaii Hunters in Maui Mall, and Emporium in Makawao Town. And we're looking at also getting into some more stores across the state, and we'll also be available at Hadley Gun Supply in Kihei as well.
You've done a great job getting in stores. So, and before that's amazing. Great job. And tell people, just give us a little bit more about what kind of products they can find there.
Okay, so so we do a lot of, primarily right now we have a lot of cool stuff in the works. We just came out with a new hunting pant and a couple new styles of dry fit style upperwear with hoodies and gaiters and things like that. We also have a women's line that will be out mid-January. That's, everything is really high quality material. We really put the time into making sure that we don't take any shortcuts, that everything is durable, long lasting, and primarily I focus on at least at this stage in our business, we focus on hunting gear. But with that said, that's just I feel like the peak of outdoors. So that's why we focus on that. I'm also hunter, and but with that we have ranchers, fishermen, and farmers, and so many different types of outdoorsmen that all love to use our stuff. And we also do custom for many of the ranches, construction companies, even state departments like DLNR. We do a lot of business with them as well. So if there's any companies out there who, would like to work with us, we just love working with good people and being a part of the community. So please feel free to reach out anytime.
Oh, that's fantastic. Well, I just want to thank you for your tremendous efforts, not only for your superior products and entrepreneurial spirit, but also for the work you're doing to bring our keiki up into this lifestyle, to preserve our paniolos and that history of upcountry Maui, but also tremendous sustainable solutions for our island. It's always great to hear from entrepreneurs who are doing novel things, but still bringing it all home and sustaining our island, and we greatly appreciate you.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate being on the show, and thank you.
Well, you're very welcome. Well, no, it's been lovely to have you on. Thank you for all you do. I want to send blessings for a wonderful weekend and wish you happy holidays.
Mahalo. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays. Aloha. Okay, we're going to take a quick moment and bring on our next guest and share a little bit about Michael Shiffler, who is the CEO of a nonprofit organization called Red Lightning that is based in Kihei. This organization has been recognized by the Maui County Council for its responses and recovery efforts in Lahaina. It was founded in 2010, and the group, before working on all of the wildfire recovery efforts, has assisted with disaster relief efforts in Puerto Rico after Hurricane Maria, and across the world in places like Haiti and Turkey after earthquakes. So we're thrilled to have Michael with us this morning to share more about Red Lightning's efforts. And I think Gary's giving him a call. So in the meantime, as we bring Michael on, I hope everybody's having a joyous holiday season, and it's a time where family and friends are all coming together. So we so appreciate this time and are just feeling very grateful and blessed for all the support we've been receiving as we've been trying to help find our dog Ziggy. I mentioned next door. I wholeheartedly recommend for everybody that you get engaged in Nextdoor. It's a great community network. If you're not on that system, you're going to see all sorts of things from, as she mentioned, people, talking about different experiences or offering different things for free, or just great ways to connect. Many people searching for things they need, and it's a great way for you to look and see if you have those things or have connections to help people, especially housing. A lot of people are still this holiday season looking for housing, so we want to support them and help them be warm and safe this holiday season. Let me check in with Gary. Gary, have you been able to connect with Michael? He might be on the phone as we speak.
Yeah, I'm still working on it.
Okay, awesome. Thank you, Gary. So we are also at the Chamber gearing up for the legislative season. It starts in January. January 15th is opening day at the state legislature. And last year, the season was really very focused on helping Maui's recovery after the wildfires and helping our people and looking at, what the different agencies were doing, what the funding needs for the state, what funding needs from the state were going to be needed, what kinds of equipment and things we were going to need to help prevent wildfires and systems. And so a lot of focus on that.
Business Matters. Pam, I have Michael on the line.
Oh, awesome. Well, Michael, welcome, and thank you for all that you and Red Lightning are doing to help us in Lahaina. We're so excited to have you on the show this morning.
Thank you, Pam. It's great to be here. I really appreciate the opportunity.
Oh, well, it's our great pleasure. Can you please share with our listening audience all that you've been doing to help families here since the wildfire?
Oh, yes, absolutely. So Red Lightning has responded to disasters all over the world since 2010. We really started in Haiti after that big earthquake, and since that time we've been sending skilled volunteers into disaster zones to find solutions where we can add value and solve disaster-related problems. The first challenge that we addressed in Lahaina was with communications. We noticed that comms were down, cable was down, internet, and the cell towers were down. So we deployed Starlinks to key sites, for example, at the airport, fire station, the distribution hubs, and we deployed over 122 to help restore communications in those first few months, and that was our initial operation here in Lahaina.
Well, and it was critically important and desperately needed. We just really want to thank you for that. But I know that your service didn't end there, and you've been very active recently. Can you please let us know what you're working on now?
Yeah, great question. So there was a period there where we kind of waited for the debris removal. There was the Army Corps of Engineers was clearing debris, but we started studying, the problem in Lahaina, and we quickly came to the realization that there was going to be a lack of workforce volunteers because organizations can't just jump in a car and drive to Maui. It's expensive to get here. It's expensive to stay here, and there were these different constraints in terms of bringing volunteers in. So the first thing we wanted to do was to look at how would it be possible to bring volunteers in to do free labor, to donate free work. And we started with the Aquatic Center, which had been closed since the fire for almost a year. And they needed to have the pool cleaned before they could start repair work on the motors and actually fix it and reopen the pool. So we started there, and now we're slowly working over towards, shifting these volunteers towards other programs, including smoke remediation. Yeah,
you folks are moving at a rapid pace, and I'm just really excited that you found a way to house everybody so they're not taking up additional housing, but to get these projects going. Let's talk about how you get all this amazing work done. You've got tremendous collaborations.
Yes. So Red Lightning is sponsored by UPS, so that the package company that delivers your packages. We've been sponsored by them in various ways pretty much since the beginning. And working with them and other partners, essentially what we do is we have our flights donated by a nonprofit called Airlink. So we share with Airlink, who we want to come over and when and for how long, and then they get united to donate the flights. Currently, they come over and stay in a team house, which is my house. They're staying at my house, and we feed them, provide them with training. We have supervisors that are here full-time, and they kind of maintain the schedule of when we're going to work and who we're going to help and basically plug the volunteers in for 2 weeks at a time. And so we've done these collaborations with a number of groups. We've had volunteers come in on their own, and we've had organizations come in. Task Force Kiwi is a veteran group from New Zealand. They had 2 rotations come through. We work with All Hands and Hearts here on Maui, who also donate labor. And we're looking to have Team Rubicon come in January to continue to move the work forward. So it all starts with collaboration of partners. That's really the magic of it, is bringing these resources together and finding a way to get around these constraints. So the smoke remediation, for the background, is essentially when homes are structurally safe, they haven't been damaged by the fire, but they've been contaminated by smoke particles. And this can happen during the fire if smoke blows through the home. It can also happen if the smoke ash is blown into the home by wind. And this contaminates the home, and it makes it unsafe to live in. And what we learned was there were a number of families who had to leave their homes. They couldn't live in them because of the contamination. There are many families who are living in the homes, even with the contamination, and it's unsafe to do that. So we basically studied how is this process donated? How could we donate something like this? And we found a subject matter expert on Maui who was willing to partner with us and train us and to do, the testing and the consulting and to guide us. And so we've partnered with him. And so we now have done. Yesterday, we just finished our 17th home. It takes about a week to do one home. And so we know there's dozens, if not hundreds, of families out there that need the remediation that may not be able to get it.
And this is really critically important because I've seen it, and I know early on they were providing masks, but we really need to get these homes clean. This is toxic material that many people are still living in. Tell us a little bit, because also this kind of remediation comes at a high cost and is above and beyond, what the Army Corps of Engineers did in terms of clearing the land and cleaning. Can you tell people a little bit about why this is so important for these families who are living in these conditions?
So what we've learned is that, so let me back up. So to purchase professional cleaning services from a remediation company, it can cost anywhere from $35,000 to $70,000, $70,000. So the cost of paying a company to come in to do this is just out of reach. There's some families that are underinsured or non-insured, and so there's other families who are waiting for insurance to come. They've been waiting for over a year, and they're still waiting. So our view is that if we're able to remediate a home, it's almost the same as building a home, for the family. If they can get back into the home and get out of temporary housing, or however they're surviving, get them back into the home, get them back to a sense of normalcy. And because of these problems with cost and insurance, this is why we came up with a solution to, partner with a subject matter expert, bring the volunteers in, and provide the solution at no cost. So it's hard, dirty work. It is not easy. We have to, because of the attic cleaning, we have to arrive, sometimes as early as 4 a.m, because if you're in the attics past 10 or 11, it just gets physically too hot. And the only way around that is to arrive early. So we'll wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning to start an attic. And the model is working. We're having success, and we're making progress. And it's not huge numbers, but we are having an impact for the families that we serve.
Well, and getting it done very quickly, to get it done in a week, given the level that your damage and toxins that you're trying to remove, is really remarkable. And so much of this, I know you're doing all of this with just great partner agencies and volunteers. Tell us about, again, the kinds of, not only do you get up early, but also people have to wear suits to do all of this and get into very challenging places. Tell us a little bit about what does that feel like when you folks are out there doing this work?
I was just in an attic yesterday and a couple times last week. And so if you're getting into a contaminated attic, you have to wear PPE. It's a Tyvek suit, which just makes you even more. It's crazy hot up there already, but this makes it worse. You have to you have to breathe through a respirator. You have to put goggles on, and the spaces in attics are very tight. So you have to kind of crawl on your stomach, and you have to worry about if you put your hand on drywall, you'll fall right through that roof. So that there's some risk involved, and it's a real challenge. It is hard work. And then if you're removing insulation, depending on how you're sitting or moving, it's not the easiest thing to do it laying on your side or, on your stomach. And some of these spaces I can't even get into, and it takes a special person to be able to work into an attic. But, it's interesting. There's almost like a spiritual experience in the attics where you feel tremendous gratitude. It's kind of strange. I'm not really sure why, but you just feel honored that you're able to help and serve, and you feel thankful for your blessings. And we've just been real fortunate to have the right people to come in, and so these are, a lot of these are volunteers. They've never done anything like this, and it's life-changing for them. So we just hope to continue to do more homes. We're a small nonprofit, and we have need of additional funders to scale the effort. We have one team that goes out now. We would like to do, 2 teams that go out per week. Yes.
Yeah. And so we're going to need additional help right now, folks, because this is a nonprofit who's getting things done. And you're bringing in also amazing trainers. You've got subject matter experts who are here and helping others learn all about how to do this, do it right, do it safe. And then your teams are able to just make sure that you're consistently moving forward very quickly. But now we need to scale it up. So tell us a little bit about what's on the horizon for Red Lightning and how we can also help scale things up.
It's a great question. Some of the details I can't get too specific in, but what I can share with you is that so many homes are gone completely, and before the rebuilding process can start for many of these homes, they need to have surveys done. So the next program that we're looking at is to bring in subject matter experts, in this case surveyors, and working with funding partners to accelerate at velocity the speed at which surveys can be done. This is a program that we hope will officially start and roll out mid-January, but we're primarily focused on homeowners looking to rebuild, and we want to find ways to catalyze or to speed that process up. So we're working with surveyors and funders, and we want to try to find a way to do it at a lower cost and at a greater speed for everybody, so everybody can get their permits in and they can start rebuilding.
Yeah, it's this is a time when so many people, they're rebuilding. They have brand new blueprints. They have to change things, and one of the key things we've been very worried about as they rebuild is, as we're seeing rebuilding, but we haven't also figured out some of the access ways and the safe ingress and egress plans, and so as some of the things are moving forward, there's a lot of surveying work that needs to be done. And I know you're doing this at a significant discount thanks to your collaborations. And you're partnering with the Salvation Army as well to help you do this.
Yes, the Salvation Army has covered the direct expenses, so our supplies and the cleaning materials, the suits, the subject matter experts. They've been a great partner, and they're committed to helping Lahaina. And so my challenge for me has been, how do I fund the operation side, which is, covering the cost of, gas and food and taking care of the team. And it doesn't sound like a big expense, but it adds up after a few months. And something else I wanted to add is that the challenges and disasters, they all come with different constraints in these bottlenecks and these, barriers and friction points. And every disaster that I have gone to, it is always harder on islands. Part of this is because you can't have groups just driving to, Hawaii in their cars, and there's a certain amount of expense in getting equipment and resources to the island. And for this reason, and I've spoken with other aid groups, it's like, why aren't you in Maui? Why don't you have an operation? I mean, you're a huge organization. And they just said it's too hard. And my heart breaks for Lahaina, because every time I go to other disasters, I'll see dozens, if not hundreds, of other organizations with their magnets on their cars. You can see them everywhere. But I don't see that in Lahaina. I don't see, not even a dozen organizations, off the top of my head that are here. And with the news cycle, I feel like, attention has gone elsewhere, but Lahaina still needs help as much as they did a year ago. And so we are committed to do as much as we can, as long as we can, and it's just a matter of resources at this point.
Yes, and we want to help you get the resources you need to speed recovery, and it's really important to connect with local businesses and have, and community groups to be a part of the solution. So, share with us a little bit about, what kind of resources you need to help you best scale your recovery efforts.
Yeah, in the short term, we're really looking to connect with local businesses who want to be part of the solution. And in regards to scaling, it's additional funding. It's one of the only ways we can have two or more teams, to help speed recovery. These families are waiting to move into their homes in many cases. And a lot of this comes from unrestricted funding to support our efforts in our team house, to feed the volunteers, the equipment, some of the supplies that we need, as well as even, certain PPEs, sometimes like, vacuums and stuff like that. So any
Tell people what
local
a
companies
PPE is.
who would like...
We hear that a lot of people still don't know what it is, but...
1 minute,
Yeah.
Pam.
Oh, thank you, Gary.
I was going to say any local companies who would like to partner with Red Lightning to help families in Lahaina can reach out to me at michael@redlightning.com, or you can go to our website at www.red-lightning.com. You can even reach out to me by phone. And we're just looking to scale our efforts with volunteers such as Team Rubicon. And I want to say thank you again to the UPS Foundation, United Airlines, Airlink, and Salvation Army for their partnership to make a difference in our community here in Maui and in Lahaina.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. It's been a great pleasure to have you on and to learn about Red Lightning. And Michael, you're a treasure. We want to support your efforts. Want to send blessings and best wishes to all who are listening today and to say happy holidays. Thank you for joining us for Business Matters. We hope you've learned a lot, and we hope you have a joyous holiday season. Aloha and a hui hope.